going on, everybody? It's Robinson DUP. Just having a little coffee, and so is John.
What's going on, guys?
Our brains don't function on a high level like they usually do without caffeine.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long day yesterday. We need coffee.
Yeah. And actually, we're going to do a video about the whole show in a second. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the pump. Well, you guys are constantly worried about like getting pumps. That's why I guess things like Hemovol exist and NO Explode back in the day, and what were they, VO2? Is that what we're looking for? What are those? The dilators?
Oh, the nitric oxide.
The nitric oxide dilators, all that kind of NO2 products that are always kind of to get you the pump. And everybody's concerned that if you don't get a pump, you're not getting any results. And I wouldn't say the pump is that big of a deal, in my personal opinion. I think the pump is a friendly environment in which, you obviously have blood and fluid and, a lot of nutrients transitioning in and out of the cell, which does create a nice anabolic environment. But you can get big muscles without necessarily pursuing the pump. Would you agree with me on that one?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
No, I do. I agree. Yeah, hey, what's going on, guys?
I thought he was setting me up there. I'm like, fuck.
Absolutely. Don't totally disagree with you on camera. What's going on, guys? John Garifano, Strength is Life. So, my take on this is that, from a physiological perspective, that the pump actually is a real phenomenon that can actually build muscle if you are getting enough metabolic stress, which means that you are forcing the cells of your body to expand. You're actually forcing water and nutrients, like Greg said, into the muscle cell. So it actually is a real phenomenon, and you can build muscle. It can be indicative of getting a good workout, and it can translate to hypertrophy. However, I would argue that total workload, which is your weight times your sets times your reps, over time would be more indicative of hypertrophy or growing muscle, because you're using the principle of progressive overload. What progressive overload basically means that you're handling more weight over time, and the more weight that you can handle over time is more mechanical overload to the muscle. So what's happening is you're forcing the contractile muscles to become bigger, larger, and stronger to handle more weight. So I would argue that progressive overload and your total workload over time would be more indicative of hypertrophy versus the metabolic stress that occurs from getting the pump. That being said, is it a bad idea to maybe throw in some blood flow restriction training to increase
massively high sets that create that environment?
Right, exactly. Or do very high repetition work for maybe some of your lagging body parts, maybe at the end of a workout. No. In fact, what I do with some of my, pretty much all of my athletes, is I use what's called intra-workout periodization. So I use periodization in their total program, but I also use intra-workout periodization, where essentially what you're doing is you're using certain repetitions in the beginning part of your workout, so you're doing more strength-based in the beginning, and then toward the end, you might be using more weight. So let's just say, for example, it was a strength day. Maybe you're doing sets of 3 or 4 in the beginning of your workout, then in the middle of your workout, you might be doing sets of maybe 8 to 10, and then in the end of your workout, maybe you're doing sets of 15, 20, 30 to get that metabolic stress. So, those are some things that, I know people have used over time. Dr. Fred Hatfield was a big proponent of intra-workout periodization. So just something to think about. Metabolic stress is a real phenomenon. It can work to your advantage, but like all things, it's all within balance. You shouldn't go into the gym with the goal of doing arms and getting the pump. You should go in with the goal of trying to outdo yourself from last week or your last workout. So.
Alright, guys and girls, so the pump is not a necessity. There are some benefits to it, but whether you get it or not really has no bearing on the entire how much hypertrophy you're going to get out of muscle growth. If any of you have been following me, you obviously know I do daily undulated periodization. I do a lot of benching, deadlifting, and squatting. I don't do like I used to do the bro stuff where it was like high volume everything. So I used to do high volume on arms, high volume on shoulders, high volume on my back or chest. And I'd probably walk out with that swole effect every time I lifted. And, John has since, we've had conversations and he's got me to go more with the daily undulated periodization scheme. And my arms and shoulders and everything else, my whole physique looks better. And I don't really get a pump anymore when I'm in the gym, and it's not a big concern for me to pursue it. I'm bigger than I've ever been. I have more muscle mass than I've ever had on me. I'm stronger than I've ever been. And I don't think I've had a pump in a long, long time. I don't even think it's necessary. So that's our opinion on it. Take it or leave it, and talk to you later.